Alex Eala just did something the numbers said she wasn't supposed to do. In Toronto, the 21-year-old Filipino rising star stared down one of the most dangerous servers in women's tennis and beat her in straight sets. Alycia Parks can fire a serve at 129 miles per hour, a speed tied for the WTA record, but on this night, Eala didn't flinch. She stepped in, took the ball early, turned Parks' biggest weapon against her, and walked away with a 6-3, 6-4 victory in just 1 hour and 12 minutes. And as impressive as that win was, the bigger story may be what comes next. Eala is still alive at a WTA 1000 event carrying a massive $7.43 million total prize pool, and another deep run could push her breakthrough season into territory Philippine tennis has rarely seen. This wasn't simply another win on the schedule. It was personal. Parks had beaten Eala in their only previous meeting at the Australian Open in January. Eala had stormed through the opening set 6-0, only to watch Parks turn the match around and take the next two sets 6-3 and 6-2. That kind of loss sticks with a competitor. But 7 months later, the version of Alex Eala who walked onto the court at Sobeys Stadium looked nothing like the player who left Melbourne disappointed. "I've improved as a player since then," Eala said after the match, and everything that happened on court supported that statement. From the opening games, her strategy was crystal clear: take away Parks' serve. At 6'1", Parks plays first strike tennis. Her serve can end a point before an opponent gets comfortable, and she shares the record for the fastest serve in WTA history after hitting 129 miles per hour at the 2021 US Open, matching Venus Williams. Instead of retreating from that power, Eala moved forward. The 5'7" left-hander positioned herself aggressively around the baseline, read the delivery early, redirected the pace, and forced Parks to play longer rallies. When Parks missed her first serve, Eala pounced. She won 63.3% of the points played on Parks' second serve and converted 4 of 9 breakpoint opportunities during the match. That was the pressure point, and Eala kept attacking it. Her angles, movement, anticipation, consistency, and court coverage made Parks uncomfortable in ways raw power couldn't solve. Eala broke twice in the opening set and never allowed the American to settle into the kind of serving rhythm that had hurt her in Melbourne. And every time Eala landed a winner, the Filipino fans in Toronto made sure she heard them. Thousands of miles from the Philippines, the stadium started to feel like a home court. The second set got tighter. Parks held serve confidently early, but Eala remained patient and composed. She didn't chase low-percentage shots. She kept applying pressure, waited for her opportunity, broke Parks in the 9th game, and then calmly served out the match. With that, the revenge was complete and Eala's winning streak reached 6 matches. The victory was also described as her 8th win over a top 10 player this year, another sign of how quickly her reputation has changed on tour. The player who entered the season as a rising talent is increasingly looking like someone the established stars have to take seriously. And that transformation didn't begin in Toronto. Just weeks earlier in Washington, Eala captured her first WTA title, a breakthrough she described as life-changing. "It's been a crazy 24 hours, she admitted afterward, explaining how quickly she had to move from celebrating one of the biggest moments of her career to preparing for another tournament. That Washington victory added roughly $252,000 to her season earnings, pushed her to a career-high world ranking of No. 20 with 2016 ranking points, and sent her into Toronto as the number 25 seed. Yet Eala says she isn't constantly refreshing the rankings after every result. "I do look at rankings from time to time, but it's not like something I'm checking after every match," she explained. Her priority is simpler: win more matches and focus on the level of tennis she produces while doing it. That mindset may be one of the biggest reasons for her rise. She's aware of the hype, but she isn't allowing it to run the show. She arrived in Washington searching for a breakthrough and left as a champion. Now she's trying to learn how to handle everything that comes with that success. "I'm learning how to handle it," she said while discussing the quick turnaround between Washington and Toronto. "There hasn't been much time to celebrate, reset, travel, and prepare, but she keeps finding a way to stay grounded." The support in Toronto has helped. Tickets have been selling out, and the large Filipino community across the Greater Toronto Area has shown up in force. Eala said it was special to see Filipino fans enjoying tennis and expressed hope that moments like these can help grow the sport even more. What started as a breakout run is turning into something bigger, a fan movement following her from event to event and believing they may be watching a new chapter in Philippine tennis unfold in real time. But Toronto gets much tougher from here. The National Bank Open is one of the biggest tournaments on the WTA calendar outside the Grand Slams. The champion receives 1,000 ranking points, twice the 500 points available for Eala's Washington title. The financial stakes are also substantial. The tournament's total prize pool is listed at approximately $7.43 million, while the 2025 women's singles champion earned $752,275. A deep run could produce the largest payday of Eala's career and push her career prize money to another major milestone. Still, for Eala, the ranking points and the chance to establish herself among the elite may matter even more than the check. And looming in the draw is one opponent who could provide the ultimate test, reigning Wimbledon champion Linda Noskova. The Czech world number 7 has already beaten Eala twice this season, including a 6-2, 6-4 victory in the Berlin semifinals. In that match, Noskova's aggressive baseline game overwhelmed Eala, and the Czech finished with 33 winners against only 15 unforced errors. Since then, Noskova has carried that momentum all the way to a Wimbledon championship, establishing herself as one of the most dangerous players on the tour. But there's a twist. The Alex Eala who lost to Noskova in Berlin may not be the same player Noskova would face now. Since that defeat, Eala has won her first WTA title, climbed to No. 20 in the world, and added significant victories to a resume that already includes wins over players such as Iga Swiatek, Jessica Pegula, Elena Svitolina, Amanda Anisimova, Naomi Osaka, and Jasmine Paolini. She has beaten Olympic champions, Grand Slam champions, major finalists, former number 1 caliber stars, and top 10 opponents. At some point, those results stop looking like isolated upsets and start looking like evidence. Eala is no longer simply knocking on the door of the WTA elite. She's starting to challenge the players already inside. That's what made the Parks victory so important. Yes, it was revenge for Melbourne. Yes, it extended her winning streak. But more than anything, it showed growth. Parks once used her power to overwhelm Eala. In Toronto, Eala solved the puzzle. She didn't try to hit harder than the harder hitter. She trusted preparation, placement, patience, anticipation, and smart returning. She turned a 129-mile-per-hour serve from a nightmare into something manageable. For a young player still developing, that ability to learn from a previous defeat may be more valuable than any single result. 7 months ago, Eala left Melbourne on the wrong side of a comeback. Now the 21-year-old from Quezon City is walking through Toronto with the confidence of a champion. She still remembers the little girl who showed up to play tennis in ruffled socks and light-up shoes, but that girl is now competing on some of the biggest stages in the sport. The money is getting bigger. The ranking points are getting more valuable. The opponents are getting tougher. The expectations are growing. But Eala's answer hasn't changed: keep fighting, keep believing, and keep improving. Alycia Parks and her 129-mile-per-hour serve are behind her now. A potential rematch with Linda Noskova could be ahead. And if Eala keeps playing with the composure and tactical intelligence she showed in Toronto, the next chapter of this run could be even bigger than the last.